All right, so I'm heading out of Costco, and I am right now going to test these FSD speed profiles on Cybertruck and see if there I can find any discernible differences between the previous version and this one, which is 14.2.2. So getting out of Costco. And let's see how it handles the traffic over here. I mean, it's a majority of the Costco run is already done. Like where I was parked at, there wasn't a difficult place for it to get out of, so it ended up doing that. And now we'll see. I'm going to see how it, once it hits the highway, how does the FSD speed profiles behave. So it's on a stop sign and it's waiting for. Yeah, this is basically excessive weight. This is really excessive weight. And it's because it doesn't understand. Yeah, the other vehicle had to kind of give it a flash. That, hey man, what are you waiting for? You gotta fucking go. Yeah, really slow, very leisurely, leaving the parking. And like even now, it's in standard mode. It's picked a poor lane for it to get into. Yeah, route selection is quite disappointing. I'm gonna say that today. The way it plots the route sometimes, it's not smart. You know that you have to make an immediate left. Then why are you going into the middle lane? If there was enough traffic, it would not have been able to come back in its lane to be able to get this exit to get onto J-Terminal Butler. This is quite frustrating. What that does, if I wasn't like going ahead and just testing it, I would have taken over and right at the stoplight itself, because it's like people are not looking to wait there for like 15 minutes. That intersection is not meant for that. So that's that intersection where maybe it should be just a rolling stop. That's mostly what people do there. And then after that stop sign, it ended up negotiating the stop. It made a left, and then it went really slow. It's like no urgency. Granted, I'm in standard profile, but I know even if it was in MadMax mode, I don't think it would have made a difference in when it's getting out of that little tiny strip mall. All right, so I cranked up to MadMax profile right now. And let's see if I see any immediate differences in it behavior to merge. Yeah, it's again waiting till the last second almost. Now, granted, there was a vehicle behind it, which you can argue that it was the reason why it did not right away maybe scoot over to one lane over. So that's possible. Yeah, so MadMax is immediately showing its colors, and it's like right away prioritizes going into the passing lane, and it's leading, and it's like following the vehicles that are going the quickest. So it says already a 76. This is a 65 zone, but that's how the traffic is driving. Everybody, like in this lane, in the passing lane, the vehicle in front of me and the one in front, they're all at 75, 70. I mean, they're all at 60, 76, 77. Because I'm not passing them on anything. So that's the part that I really love about MadMax, that it does, again, not go crazy or something. It just kind of makes sure that it's picking up the quickest way for it to negotiate the route. Usually prioritizes that. All right. Okay, let me see now. I'm going to drop it down. So right now it still stays in the passing lane, and that's a behavior that I've noticed quite a lot in MadMax. It stays in the passing lane. I'm dropping it down to hurry. See if I notice any difference. And so see in hurry also, I don't see any difference right now. Maybe a slight slowdown, but that's not really, I mean, I don't think I can say measurably there's much difference. You see he's back up to 78. Okay, I'm gonna go to standard. Yep, instant speed drop. Like you can see the power bar over here, it just slows down and then it scoots over to the middle lane. you know. And so this is very, very consistent behavior. I've noticed on the highway that the moment you move it down to standard, it is going to want to move away from the passing lane and get into the middle lane. Speed is dropped to 72, which is around 7 miles over speed limit, and that's actually great. I love that. I don't like to drive it any quicker than that as far as compared to the speed limit. I want it to be like 10% at the most offset, which is what it's doing right now. I do turn off the speed, the wipers. I don't like the wipers in FSD because the wiper, what it does that quite a lot. It'll come down into this bottom resting position, horizontal, and I don't like it. I want it to be vertical, like this, out of the way. And then of course it's like wiping right now. It's bright. There's no moisture, nothing. So I don't know what is it trying to wipe and clean. Forget about any kind of raindrops. It's nothing. So I go ahead and manually turn off the wiper in FSD, and I honestly haven't noticed any discernible degradation of this performance when I turn off the wiper, even when it's decent amount of rain. It works fine. All right, back to the speed profile. So I'm going to go drop it down to chill. Yep, it chill. It dropped the speed. It just slowed down. You can see the power bar over here. It went down. It's like barely over the speed limit. Now you could argue that the exit is coming up, so that's why it may be scooting over one lane to its rightmost, but that also could be because of chill. Let me actually put that to test. If I go into MadMax, so I moved it straight from chill to MadMax. So what you see is that it is speeding up, but it's not changing the lane, and that tells me is because it knows that it's coming up on its exit. So it's keeping itself in the lane where to make sure it can make the exit. All right, and it's at 80. It went up to 80, right? And it's with the speed, 3 speed of traffic. You can look at this vehicle in front of me. It's actually going even slightly quicker than I am. So I'm gonna go down and drop it all the way down to Sloth. Yeah, it's like a significant drop of power, and it's down to exactly the speed limit right now. On the money. In fact, slightly slower, 64. So that was some a quick testing of speed profiles. What I noticed with that on the highway on this J Tunnel Butler in this particular route that I tested very frequently here because it's almost like a daily driver for me. I don't think I can say definitively there's any nuances that I noticed that are new or different for the speed profiles in FSD 14.2.2.2, 2222222. All right, I'm going to now see how it works on this little section of the city street, and I'm going to go do the same thing. So I'm going to leave it on Sloth as we get off the line here and see if I can notice something where if it's going to be doing something excessively slow or not. So picks up off the line a little bit leisurely. I think that is because of the Sloth mode. Because what happens if you see that white vehicle that went much further up ahead of me? Yeah, it's keeping it very slow. So right now, just at its turn, let me see if I can crank it all the way up to MadMax. See if I notice a difference. Yeah. See the power profile here? It's like the moment it negotiated that little curved road and it straightened itself up, it's sped up. The speed is just sped up, and is right now at 49 in a 45 zone. Great example to also illustrate that. Again, it's in MadMax, but it is not going crazy quick. It's not. It's because it factors in so many nuances of that are not visible, that you can't really discern yourself. You can't really describe what those nuances are, and I can at least, but I can sense that it's factoring in a lot of nuances, such as the traffic around it, the speed of the traffic, and again, it is in the passing lane right now. I call this a passing lane, I would say. All right, so I'm going to go and drop from MadMax all the way down back to Sloth. See if it scoots over a lane to go to the rightmost lane. Yes, it's doing that. So the moment I did Sloth, it moved away from the leftmost lane, which is, I would say, is a passing lane, and it moved to the right lane, and was instantaneous. All right, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go back into MadMax. Yep. Immediately, it looks at the lead vehicle, that vehicle in front of me, that Toyota. It was going quicker, and it scooted up. It moved out of the lane, and then moved into the passing lane, and now it's tailing that other vehicle. And yep, there you go. Now it sees that those vehicles are going slower. It scooted over to the right lane, so that, you know, that gentle weaving action, to ensure that it's going as quickly as it can. And here's a great example that it's not going berserk. It's 5 miles over speed limit. That's it, even in MadMax, because it understands it's on a city street. And once again, like I said, it takes into consideration many factors that are not something that are readily observable, that determines as to how it handles and what kind of action it takes, how quickly it goes, which lane it picks, things of that nature. So I'm keeping it into this MadMax profile. Now see, this is another example, route selection. It's a poor route selection. Look at that. I can make a right. I usually can make a right from here, and that's the quickest way to get to Planet Fitness. But what the vehicle is doing is choosing to go from this light. So it's like a much longer route instead of cutting straight across, which would be quicker, which will be less distance traveled. So we do need improved optimization of the route. Another example right here. It could have made a right here, but it's making a right, and it's taking the longest possible route to get to the Planet Fitness. This is so right now it's going to the front of Planet Fitness, at the main entrance, which is ideal. I mean, it's the quickest way for me to get to the entrance. And it's waiting for these pedestrians that look to be waiting. Wow, nice. It perfectly understood the intent of these older couple walking the street and across the street. And it's waiting for them to cross the street. There you go. It made sure that it's all safe, and now it's going ahead and it's pulling into the parking lot, and it's going to park itself. Let's see what it handles the parking, because I've noticed that parking at the end of destination, sometimes it's not the best. It's a bit spotty. Wow, okay, so this is very, very unusual. It actually parked face in. I have not yet experienced that the truck parking face in. It always prioritizes reversing in. And then I'll look at another thing I want to see, the front camera. So it is slightly above the line that divides the other parking spot with the one that I'm in right now. I would have liked it to be a little bit not as close to at the edge of it. So like, I'll tell you, like I would be like slightly back like that. Maybe like this. This is what I would have been. I'm nitpicking right now, but I'm just kind of like talking about some of the observations. So that was my quick test of FSD speed profiles, getting out of Costco, and some route selection shenanigans again, in FSD 14.2.2.2 on Cybertruck. Thank you for watching.